This week, I've been spending time with the 2025 Toyota Sequoia 1794 edition. Base price for the 1794 edition is just over $80,000, and as tested with a few options, is just over $86,000. This is finished in celestial silver, looks pretty sharp. The 1794 edition is kind of got a cool history behind it. The Sequoia and the Tundra, where they're built in Texas, actually occupy what used to be the longest live cattle ranch in the United States. Dates all the way back to 1794. And when Toyota bought the cattle ranch in 2003 for production of their vehicles, they kind of made this addition later down the road to kind of pay homage to that. In this video, I'm going to be giving you some real world impressions on what this vehicle is like to live with during the week. I've put a few hundred miles on it, and I've hauled my family around, got groceries. I actually reviewed a Sequoia capstone a couple years ago and had a couple complaints. So I'll address that in the video and see if they've fixed that and updated that for 2025. Back here, you do get a power lift gate. Unfortunately, the back area here is still not very practical. With the third row lifted up because of the hybrid battery, I believe, it just makes for a very awkward cargo space and not practical in real world use. Your groceries fall over the place. You can't really put anything up here without struggling to lift it up because the load height is so high. You do get a little shelf down here that you can, put in these slots here to kind of help, flatten the load floor. But then again, your load height is, 3-4 feet off the ground, which is absolutely insane and not practical. You get a spare tire as well. The Sequoia can tow over 9,000 pounds and can tow up to like 9,500 depending on which trim you pick. Let's go ahead and take a look at the back seat here. You get power running boards in this model, just like the capstone I reviewed a couple years ago. Peasant blockers, aka sunshades. You get this nice saddle brown interior and 1794 edition mats, which is really cool. You do have very nice real walnut inlays all around the interior, so pay attention to that when we get up front here. Very cool. Do have a panoramic sunroof as well. It is about 100 degrees out, so I'm not going to be opening that and kind of be moving pretty quickly on the outside because I am roasting right now. It's probably Texas hot. Back here, very nice place to be. You do get a couple of map pockets, rear climate controls, rear heated and ventilated seats, a couple USB-C ports, a 400-volt outlet, and along with these captain's chairs, you do get a couple cup holders, place to put your phone, and a pretty decent storage section right here. Let's go ahead and see if we can climb into the third row real quick. Pull that lever up and this just gets out of the way pretty nicely. It is pretty nice. These are power, but you do have to press and hold the button to get them up. I probably could have done that in the back as well. Back here is actually pretty decent. I hardly have any headroom, but legroom is pretty okay. I have a couple cup holders, USB-C port. Really no complaints. The third row is actually somewhat usable for adults if you don't mind the lack of headroom. Pretty easy to get in and out of too, surprisingly. Now stepping into the driver's seat here, you're greeted with dual heated and ventilated power seats, as well as two-person memory for the driver. Hopping into the interior, see the 1794 edition floor mats up front looking sharp. You're greeted with a nice digital gauge cluster and a massive 14-inch infotainment. Does have a 360 reverse camera as well. Wireless Android Auto, wireless CarPlay works flawlessly, no complaints at all. This does have a 14-speaker JBL sound system. It's a little iffy for the price. It could be better for the price that you pay for this vehicle. Even if you EQ it out a little bit, it's still just kind of, it's just okay. Down here is your tri-zone climate controls, your heat and ventilated seat controls, defrostable mirrors as well, USB-C port. Down here you do get your trailer assist if you want to back up to a trailer. It'll help with that. Live view button, traction control, manual controls for the air suspension if you want to raise or lower it on your own. A wireless charger that works okay. Couple cup holders, your 4-wheel drive controls, drive mode selector, lots of storage up here. Lots of storage down there with a couple USB-C ports. Lots of storage over here in this glove box as well. Auto-dimming rear view mirror with HomeLink, and it's also digital. This does have an optional dash cam installed. I love that manufacturers are doing that now, putting dash cams in their vehicles. I wish more manufacturers would do that because it just saves a lot of headache. Sunglasses holder and illuminated visor mirrors as well. This also does have an optional heads-up display that looks super sharp and crisp. Over here on the left, you do get several more controls: automatic high beams, your fuel filler door, heated steering wheel as well, and your power running board controls. A couple years ago in the Capstone, I had a lot of squeaks and rattles in that particular model, but it seems like Toyota's kind of buttoned that up, and the quality in here is a lot better than what it was a couple years ago. There is some like cheaper feeling sounding plastics right here, piano black plastic here that's prone to getting scratched up with use, and you know, it's on the steering wheel as well. But overall, the quality of the materials in here is pretty good. So with all that being said, I think that about covers the interior. Let's go ahead and take this for a spin. The 2025 Sequoia is powered by a 3.4 liter twin turbo V6. It is hybridized, makes about 437 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to a 10-speed transmission, gets 19 city, 22 highway, and 20 combined. I've been averaging 18 and a half, not quite hitting those numbers, and I really never hit any of those numbers in the Capstone I had a couple years ago either. But this thing can put the power down for sure. Gauge cluster is fully customizable too. You can put pretty much whatever you want on the left and side, on the left and right sides here, just by going through the pages and, you know, dialing it in. I could bore you guys with all those settings, but I do not want to do that. On a fairly bumpy road here, the Sequoia does a pretty good job of soaking up these bumps. It does feel truck-like. It's not as smooth as something like the Lexus GX 550, but it does a pretty decent job soaking up the bumps. Very torquey. 10-speed does a pretty good job keeping you in the power band. Nice and smooth shifts. Does get a little confused at times, but overall this week the experience has been pretty good. A couple years ago with the Capstone Sequoia, I was kind of feeling some surging at times. It was really weird, and I haven't had that issue with this at all. Here at 58 miles an hour on a gravel road, things are very quiet. The ride is good. There is some whistling on the mirrors, but overall it's pretty quiet. It does have traffic sign recognition as well. Very nice to see. Adaptive cruise control, you know, your Toyota Safety Sense suite with lane tracing works really nice, easy to engage, has following distance controls. No complaints at all with that system this week. Let's do a quick 0 to 60. Put this thing into Sport S Plus. There's like 6 different drive modes here. I've been keeping it in normal this week, but let's stop here at 0 and floor it. This thing hauls pretty good. It's 94 degrees, so it might be a little slower than normal, as this thing's probably heat soaked, but this thing hauls properly for this giant, heavy SUV. I do wish the throttle response was a little more immediate than what it is. As you see back there, sometimes you press the gas, you have to like wait a second. As a hybrid, which this thing is, it should be instant. Like all the other Toyota hybrids that I've driven, you know, like the Highlander, the Camry, the Prius, you put your foot down, that sucker goes. This thing, it's delayed. And really wish they could tune that out. It is a giant SUV, so there is, you know, quite a bit of body roll, but steering feel is pretty decent for a SUV of this size. Visibility is pretty good as well. You got a large rear view mirror, large side mirrors as well, blind spot monitoring. Really no huge pillars, huge windows in the back so you can see out of. This 14-inch infotainment is just huge. At night it can get a little distracting admittedly. Down here you do have a integrated trailer brake controller. I forgot to point that out. This does have a load leveling suspension as well, so if it starts squatting it'll kind of increase the amount of air in the air suspension to kind of level the vehicle out a little bit. My largest complaint now with the Sequoia is the fake pumped-in engine noise. It sounds terrible. It sounds like a Harley Davidson motorcycle that is put into a video game poorly. I really wish I could hear the V6 scream away by itself and not have to listen to this horrendous noise. The price is outrageous in my opinion, and I would personally get a base model Lexus GX over this, as I think it just drives better. It's a lot more fun to drive, and you know, has similar features, but you know, for 80K, whew, it's a steep ask, that's for sure. One thing to note is that these ventilated seats are so loud. I'm not sure if you can hear that. I'm not sure if it's picking it up through the mic, because I've had to change mics recently to more of a lav mic instead of binaural, but they are so loud. It's hard to hold a conversation when both of them are running. It's a little bit ridiculous. They don't work the best either. Let me know what you guys think about the Sequoia. Let me know, you know, if you guys know somebody that owns one, or your thoughts. I just think this thing looks the business. I cannot believe I forgot to mention this. You actually can pop open the rear glass as well and access stuff back here. I really wish more manufacturers did that. Thank you to Toyota for sending me this vehicle to film, and we'll go ahead and see ya in the next video. Take care, everybody.